It's not about trying to cure depression. It's about trying to observe it. It's not trying to get rid of it. It's trying to understand it and trying to understand our relationship with it, trying to understand ourselves through it so that when the wave comes, we don't get crushed by it anymore, but we learn to surf it. Right now, when these inner waves come, we get smashed. We almost drown. It takes us back to shore. It takes us a week to come back, and we become terrified of the ocean. But if you really start to understand this inner world and start to navigate it, start to familiarize yourself with it and have the courage to enter it, eventually these waves become not something of which to be terrified, but something that makes us excited. A wave is energy. The wave might not change, but through our work, through the changes that we've undergone, the experiences and the understanding that we've gained, a wave is no longer something that terrifies us and makes us run. It's something that makes us excited, that we know how to surf, that we know how to move and use that energy to get where we're trying to go, to enjoy and create a wonderful, playful inner world as opposed to something that enslaves us and terrifies us, right? Like, if you want to do this with me, like, you know, if we're getting crushed by, the first thing to do is let me pull you out of the ocean, right? We don't know how to swim right now. All right, let's get on the shore. And if you want to start to navigate this inner world and start to understand it, we start from the shore and we observe it. You know, how does the ocean work? What is inside me that's worth observing? What's worth familiarizing myself with? What's worth distinguishing, right? My thoughts, my emotions, my physical aspects, my sensations, my actions, you know, because even the language that we speak shows how little we've actually spent time investigating ourselves inwardly, right? I say, how do you feel? What's a feeling? A feeling, is it an emotion or is it a sensation? Well, you'll say both because, of course, they're interlinked, but they're very different, right? Everything that we feel or sense has like a mental aspect, right? If I'm sad, my body will act in a certain way. I will have the emotion of sadness as well, and I'll have thoughts that represent the sadness, a mental aspect. But these things can be separated and can be realigned and used and find some kind of coherence, right? Like understanding these things and seeing the ideologies and the references, the way that we see, the way we perceive, the belief systems that we operate, the relationship we have with what is inside of us and our and how they're based in a lack of understanding can start to create transformations within ourselves so that we start to understand this inner world. We start to see and say, oh, I know you, I know this can go here. Yeah, I know what you're looking for, you come here, right? And as we understand this inner ocean, it doesn't become something so terrifying. It becomes something that intrigues us. Okay, so how can I now start to make my way in? You know, and then how can we build the tools so that when we want to cross to the other side, when the waves of you know, we don't get crushed. So how can I work so that I have the tools in my pocket with me so that every time a big wave comes, I don't lose all of my energy. I don't get washed back to the shore. I can actually use the energy of the wave so that I can come under and get pulled out the other side with a little bit more speed, a little bit more creative energy, right? When I have these tools and this understanding of how to work my nervous system, my body, my perception, my breath, my posture, all these things that are at our disposal within ourselves and in our environment so that we can master this energy inside of us. We don't get used by it, but we start to use it so that we can get to the other side faster, unharmed, with energy to then create in the waves and play. And every time a big wave comes, every time the waves come, we're now in a place of co-creation with the ocean, of fun, of play, because it's all energy, right? It's just now we're terrified of it because we don't know it. And as we start to practice, as we start to understand, as we start to play in some little baby waves and start to move this energy, we start to see how it works and we can start using it for the bigger picture and the bigger problems, and start transforming and using our darkness into creating a light that is so essential, so part of us, right? Because the lotus comes out of the mud, right? Like if we really choose to dive deep into the ocean, yeah, there's a lot of fear there, but that is the source of life. That's where we all come from. Right? So if this path speaks to you, if there's a courageous soul inside of you that's ready to take this dive with me, to transform this inner ocean into a place of play, fun, creativity, find me. I'd love to walk this with you. I'd love to swim out there and surf the waves of awakening together.